Good morning. I am Diamond Lewis, director of the Emmy award-winning DC TV Channel 23, based right here in the Metro Atlanta area. And believe me, ladies, I am also a proud Spelman alumna, class of 2001, HH5 Beta. You know I had to slide that in there, right? I am thrilled to serve as your mistress of ceremonies today, where we celebrate all of our sisters who have made the choice and support our current Spelmanites as they rise to the inevitable success, pride and legacy with which our beloved alma mater, Spelman College, is synonymous. From 1881 to today, thousands of women have made the powerful and intentional choice to attend Spelman College, and in making that choice, we all accepted the challenge to uphold the legacy of Spelman, the legacy of changing the world. Spelman women have helped shape culture, politics, education, entertainment, law, art, and beyond for more than a century. Our collective impact is undeniable and a story certainly worth telling. Let's take a look now at just a handful of our sister beacon lights of the world who have made the choice. A choice to change the world began on April 11th, 1881 in the basement of Friendship Baptist Church, where two women, Sophia B. Packard and Harriet E. Giles, had a $100 pledge to fulfill a dream to create a school for African American women in the South. Little did they know, their dream, Spelman Seminary, would change the trajectory for Black women forever. Looking back more than a century, Spelman's legacy has always been about changing the world. The essence of this legacy was captured in this excerpt of an article written in the October edition of the Spelman Messenger, the year 1911. Quote, "The lessons of service and usefulness which have been taught all these years in Spelman have resulted in sending out into the world a body of earnest young women who find delight in giving freely what they have received. Those that were seen were but examples of many others that are doing as good work in other places." Spelman's legacy is more than historic. It is an infinite revolution that has enabled women, whether you know her name or not, to impact and shape every aspect of American culture, from industry game changers to literature and on the big screen, from shaping our government to innovative disruptors and leaders in corporate America. There is no question Spelman women have been at the forefront of change. Every woman that made the choice to attend Spelman College accepted the challenge to uphold the legacy and ensure her story will indeed change the world. Today, we celebrate the powerful choice and impact that thousands have made. Welcome to the 2020 NAASC-Atlanta Chapter Scholarship Fundraiser. This year's theme, We Made the Choice. What a way to open our program today. I don't know about you, but reflecting on the herstory of this grand legacy which binds us all together was truly awe-inspiring. Also inspiring and rather lively is my co-MC, one of the best anchors in all of Atlanta from WSB-TV, Mr. Fred Blankenship. Now, I'm proud to share the stage with Fred today. He will join us in just a moment, and I promise you we are all in for a treat. I'll give you a hint. He brought his dancing shoes. Now, 2020 has certainly been a whirlwind, from adjusting to the new normal in the wake of the COVID-19 pandemic to the stress of arguably the most important election of our time. This year has been a challenge, but to me, it's also been the year of resilience. Indeed, we are here to celebrate just that, the resilience of some phenomenal people. So let's all just take a breath, embrace the goodness of why we are gathered here today, and the promise that our Spelman sisters represent. Now, I know we all need this. I know I do. So let's just take a moment and exhale. Breathe in and exhale. One more, I need it. Breathe in and exhale. Thank you so much for indulging me with that. Now, we have a lot packed into this hour of power. Remember, this is a live event, so we want to hear from you. Use the chat feature and tell us all of your thoughts, questions, and even how you're feeling today. Now let's get this show started and welcome the president of the NAASC-Atlanta chapter, my dear friend, Miss Adrienne Lance Lucas, class of 1990.
Good morning. It brings me great pleasure to welcome our Spelman family and friends to the 2020 National Alumni Association of Spelman College Atlanta Chapter Scholarship Fundraising event. That's a mouthful. I'm Adrienne Lance Lucas, president of the NAASC Atlanta chapter, and I'm excited to celebrate with you today the very essence of Spelman excellence. This is an auspicious occasion, a glimmer of light during a dark period in our nation, resulting from the issues related to some of our current events, the presidential election, and the challenges surrounding the COVID-19 crisis. No matter the issue, Spelman Blue remains true. Thank you all for joining us. Our theme today is We Made the Choice. For alumni, you made the choice to attend. For others like parents, you made the choice to send. And still, for some joining us on this virtual event, you may have made the choice to educate, to inspire, to secure, and to ensure that Spelman women maintain the opportunity to change the world. There is an impressive lineup of local and national celebrities, including our brother Fred Blankenship, WSB TV anchor known for his infectious, great Friday morning tweets. Diamond Lewis, Emmy Award-winning journalist, director for DC TV, and of course, our Spelman sister from the class of 2001. Dr. Mary Schmidt Campbell, our 10th president of Spelman College, who has been steadily setting a high bar for leadership during this pandemic. And absolutely one of our favorite co-hosts, Sunny Hostin of the Emmy Award-winning show, The View. Get ready as we celebrate Black women, Black achievement, and Spelman excellence. Spelman women maintain the choice to change the world. And in this time of the unimaginable, our college motto, Our Whole School for Christ, affords us the understanding and the ability to keep our hands on the plow and never look back. This resonates strongly as a part of the foundation that we can draw upon, knowing that the chances to overcome adversity are strong. In previous years, the annual scholarship fundraiser was a cherished time among sisters to gather for brunch. Given its focus and its purpose, we did not have the luxury of waiting for the pandemic to pass, nor could we even think about canceling this event until there was an easier time. Our scholars count on us to deliver, and deliver we shall. Ladies and gentlemen, settle in and enjoy the 2020 NAASC Atlanta Chapter Scholarship Fundraising event. We made the choice.
Thank you so much, Madam President. Now, we could not do this event without the generosity of our alumni, friends, and our sponsors. Throughout the event, we will have Spelman moments as a treat, moments that convey the impact Spelman College has had on Atlanta and beyond. The first moment is all about the power of all HBCUs. Did you know that historically Black colleges and universities not only impact the lives of their students and staff, they also have economic impacts that go beyond their individual campuses and stretch all the way into the communities where we all live, work, and play. According to the United Negro College Fund and the University of Georgia Terry College of Business, HBCUs have a, get this, $14.8 billion impact, with an employment impact of more than 134,000 jobs and a lifetime earnings impact of $130 billion. The history, the legacy, and the impact of HBCUs, including our own beloved Spelman College, is undeniable. We must continue the legacy by being griots of our culture. And now, welcome one of our city's most recognizable griots, the always exciting, incomparably enthusiastic music magician, our brother from another mother, none other than my friend, Mr. Fred Blankenship.
Whoa, brother from another mother. That's how everybody should be introduced. Thank you so much, Diamond. And hello, everyone. I am so honored to be here and to help support, the nation's #1 HBCU for the 17th year in a row by U.S. News and World Report. I'm talking about Spelman College. I'm not making that up. That is fact. How about that? And Spelman's impact just spans the globe. So many have made the choice to attend Spelman, like the dynamic Dr. Bernice King, awe-inspiring Alice Walker, our prized possession, Stacey Abrams, the sensational Smith. When you have sensational in front of your name, let me tell you, Dr. Jane E. Smith, our newest Fulton County Judge, Melanie Lethbridge Harris, National NAASC President, Kiva Wright-Berry, and your Atlanta chapter president, Adrian Lance Lucas. Woo! The list is long and mighty. However, there are 2 special Atlanta area students who are on their way to joining this list. Sophomore, Jasmine Wilson, and senior, Jordan Still. Now, they are the Atlanta chapter's scholarship recipients, the beneficiaries of your legacy and giving. Let's learn about how these 2 remarkable women are preparing to change the world.
Hi, my name is Jasmine Wilson. I am a sophomore psychology major with a concentration in mental health from Atlanta, Georgia. I am also the 2019 scholarship recipient of the National Alumnae Association of Spelman College. I wanted to say thank you so much to the alum that have come together and put this scholarship together. I also want to say thank you to the alum for checking on me through this time. I want to say thank you for them advising me, being there for me in any way that I needed them. You all have been such a tremendous help, so thank you so much. I was often asked, why did I choose Spelman College? I chose Spelman College because it produced such wonderful women. It produced women that really made an impact, that knew what they were doing, that knew that they wanted to change the world. I wanted to become just like them. I wanted to lead my own path. I wanted to be able to show others that anything is possible, and I saw Spelman made sure to teach their students anything was possible. While being at Spelman, they have definitely shown me that anything is possible. They've encouraged me to push myself beyond my limits in the best way possible. They've shown me that no does not always mean that this is wrong, but to try a different way. They've taught me so much, and I cannot be more thankful for the lessons that I have learned and have yet to learn at Spelman. I also have decided how I want to change the world after Spelman. I've decided that I want to become an advocate for mental health. And I will go about this by becoming a psychiatrist. I will be opening a practice in African American neighborhoods. This is because African Americans do not get the chance to express themselves mentally and have a mental health advocate for them. Mental health is not taken seriously in African American communities, so I will be advocating for those that do have mental issues and need help. Me opening these practices in African American neighborhoods will provide African Americans resources and access to help deal with their mental health and get treatment for it. It will also be able to make it easier for them to get treatment and them to be able to open up about their mental issues, because there are not many African American women in the field of psychology. So this way they will have someone that can relate to their issues. And all of this will be possible thanks to the National Alumnae Association of Spelman College. They are so helpful in making my dream become a reality. I wanted to say thank you again, and you guys are such a great help. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Jordan Still, and I'm a senior computer science major at Spelman College. As far as why I decided to attend Spelman College, it was never really another option for my family. My mother, when I was about 5 years old, was like, "You're gonna go to Spelman. That's just how it's gonna be." She said that she wanted me to be a Spelman woman. She said that she felt like that's just what I was supposed to do. So naturally, when I was 5, I did not really understand what that meant. But when I turned 14, we actually had a family friend who attended Spelman College, and I got to shadow her, and I got to go see all of her classes and just like see her day-to-day schedule at Spelman. And from then on, I was hooked. Spelman was then my number one choice. And literally going throughout high school, the goal was just, okay, how do I make sure that my application is good enough to get into Spelman? And here I am. As far as the impact that I wish to have on the world, I feel as though it is my job to help get more young Black girls into the field of technology. Since I am a computer science major and that is the field that I'm going into, it's not a field where there are a lot of faces that look like our faces. As of 2020, about 3% of the tech field is made up of African American women, which is an abysmal statistic. And I just want to do my part in changing that. Thankfully, like throughout college, I've been able to be a part of Girls Who Code. I've been able to be a part of Code House, which provide mentorship programs for young Black women to get more into tech. But naturally, I want to continue that once I graduate. So that's how I really feel like I want to change the world. I really just want to get more faces looking like us into these technical spaces. I feel like the question, how did Spelman change your life, is such a difficult question for every Spelmanite to answer. Like, I feel like it's easier to answer, how did Spelman not change your life, you know? Like, where do I even begin? I would not be the woman I am today without Spelman College. I can 100% guarantee that. The opportunities that I've been presented with would not have been here. I'm literally about to be a software engineer after I graduate, and that's not something I even thought that I would be maybe like 4 years ago. I cannot thank Spelman College enough, and I cannot thank the NAASC-Atlanta chapter enough, because there was a point where I thought that I would not be able to graduate and become a Spelman woman due to financial reasons, and that is no longer the case. So I cannot even begin to thank everyone enough for these opportunities at all.
Thank you so much, Jasmine and Jordan. Their future is so bright. And yes, they will indeed change the world. As we think about the future, we have to honor the lessons learned in the past. The Spelman alum have truly made an indelible impact on making our world a better place. This Spelman moment spotlights how activism has been woven into the fiber of Spelman women.
Good morning, my Spelman sisters and friends. I'm Georgia State Senator Gail Davenport, class of 1970, representing Senate District 44. I was born in Atlanta, Georgia, and I was reared in Jonesboro, Georgia, Clayton County. I lived in an era of segregation and saw firsthand the struggles for social change. Choosing to attend Spelman College was one of the best decisions of my life for many reasons, too numerous to name here, but some of which I'd like to highlight today. First, Spelman's reputation of challenging young women to develop academically, socially, and spiritually so that they were able to return to their communities to serve as a beacon of hope was paramount. Secondly, the opportunity to interact with students from Morehouse, Clark, Morris Brown, and Atlanta University made my college days experience even more memorable and fun. Thirdly, entering the gates of Spelman in the mid-1960s, during a reigniting of the civil rights era, caused me to become heavily involved with my family and community with letter writing campaigns and grassroots organizing. As I saw my mother and others boycott Rich's department store in Atlanta for justice and equality, I felt a need to do the right thing and speak out against all injustice, which started my path on a life of service and advocacy for social justice wherever it existed. When I graduated from Spelman, the civil rights and social justice leader, Reverend Jesse Jackson, was our commencement speaker. He challenged us to be the best that we could be to make a difference in this world. Little did I know, some 30 years later, I would be on staff with Reverend Jackson in the Atlanta office, marching with him and participating in voter registration and voter empowerment bus tours across the state of Georgia and throughout the South. I ran for office because I felt I could make a difference in changing public policy. I looked at the county where I had lived almost all of my life and watched the wonderful people who lived there, and I felt I could do more for my community by being a public servant. My experience as a business person, having been a real estate professional for years and a business development director for the Citizenship Education Fund, I bring experience from the business field. As a civil rights and human rights activist and leader for over 30 years in the community, I bring the human aspect to this position of working with coalition building. We must remember that public policy matters. As a state senator, I can ensure equity and equality for African Americans by having a seat at the table. Make sure that I am present when decisions are made, show up and show out. Speak up for the constituents in the state of Georgia, tracking success and holding persons accountable. Be an effective leader, something that Spelman College taught us. As a state senator, I advocate for full Medicaid expansion so that approximately 500,000 more Georgians will have health care. Support and protect public education, promote job creation, and fight for parity for small business owners. Advocate for mortgage relief and foreclosure prevention, and protect and expand voting access and voting rights. I thank my mother for working hard to send my sister and me to Spelman College. My life is fulfilled. Thank you, Spelman, for the experience.
Our next guest, she is a game changer in every sense of the word. From an appellate law clerk, federal prosecutor, ABC News senior legal correspondent, to now co-host of America's #1 daytime talk show. I'm talking about The View. It comes on every morning before Channel 2 Extra News at noon, and I watch it every day. And do not forget, an Emmy award-winning journalist as well. What I love about Sunny is that she lets you know that she is a real person. I first really began to notice Sunny when she was anchoring World News Now, the overnight news here. It's kind of like news with a twist for insomniacs that comes on early in the morning on ABC. And she was hosting with a guy named Rob Nelson. I mean, they had amazing chemistry. But what I noticed about her was not only that she was super smart, but she was funny. And like somebody you would really want to know. You don't get that from everybody. Now, Sunny is profoundly changing the world and doing it live on TV every day. She's an advocate for Black and brown women, and she was a strong voice in ensuring a Black woman was selected for the Democratic ticket. I've been cheering Sunny on from Atlanta loudly for years. This is truly a pleasure to introduce her. She also just celebrated a birthday. Happy belated birthday, Sunny. Happy birthday to you. Hey, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the 2020 NAASC Atlanta Chapter Scholarship Fundraiser, the amazing Sunny Hostin. And joining Sunny is the tenaciously talented 10th president of Spelman College, Dr. Mary Schmidt Campbell.
Set a $50,000 fundraising goal, and we are almost there. So what you're going to be seeing throughout the program today is a text to give number. So for those who are on and you have not yet given, please help us out. The number to text is 844-421-1881. Again, it's 844-421-1881. And you can text the word give right there, and it will record your gift. Now, as we think a little bit more about Spelman and the beauty that lies within, I want you all to start utilizing the text feature and tell us why you chose and made the choice to attend Spelman College. And as those are going through, take a look at those, reminisce, get those warm feelings about how we all made that choice. Are they coming in? That's great. So once again, as you are preparing, let's make sure to look at the text to give number, 844-421-1881. Dr. Campbell, if you're there, let's get you on
I'm
to say
here.
a few words.
Good morning,
How are
Adrian.
you doing this morning, Dr. Campbell?
I'm good. How are you?
Outstanding. So before we get you started with Sunny, we want to just talk just a little bit about what's been going on in this election season. So as you think about the opportunity that we have to have an HBCU vice president in the White House, what do you think this is going to mean for our HBCUs? Any thoughts?
Well, I'll tell you what it means for Spelman College. I can remember Stacey Abrams coming, and I'll get to our eminent vice president. I can remember Stacey Abrams coming to the stage of Spelman College and telling our students after she did not win the election as governor, she said to them, "We have not lost. We have won, because we are going to go out there and register every voter we can get our hands on. We are going to change this country that way." And I think our wonderful Spelman alumna has proved that point. And when Vice President to be Kamala Harris came to Spelman College, she stood on the stage of Sisters Chapel and she told all of her students that she would remain undaunted, and she was true to her word. So I'm saying that Spelman College is a good place to be because we have exactly the right karma to launch women leaders.
Absolutely. I agree with you. And Dr. Campbell, I know you were excited as I was to take a look at Facebook and all the social media to see that Georgia was turning blue, but it wasn't just Georgia turning blue. Because of Stacey Abrams, everyone recognized that that was Spelman blue, not just the traditional. So we just received a note that they are announcing the winner for the presidential election. So Sunny has been delayed just a few minutes. And so we are waiting for her to actually come on. So as we do that, do we have a little music that we can play to cue up?
Well, if Adrian, if you don't mind, I'd like to say a few words to congratulate, first of all, you, because I think your leadership of the Atlanta chapter of the NAASC has been just phenomenal. Thank you for that. And I was listening to the wonderful videos of our students, Jasmine Wilson and Jordan Still, and I was so proud of them. And I was so struck by how encouraged and how motivated they are by the work of our alumni. And our alumni have been just absolutely stellar during this very difficult time. They have stepped up with emergency donations. They have held meetups in their hometowns. They've delivered little gifts for our students who were stranded on campus. We are so grateful for everything that the alumni do. And I just want to say also congratulations to all the honorees this afternoon. The spectacular best-selling author, Tiari Jones, Helen Smith Price, one of Atlanta's leading civic leaders, and the legendary Danny Flanagan. So thank you for that.
You are very welcome. And it's not, the thanks cannot come to me, Dr. Campbell. It is actually a team of folks that you all, many of you have recognized through the emails, through the text messages throughout this time, and our fantastic committee. You know, as we talk about the special nature of Spelman, none of this really could have happened without all the expertise that we're able to draw upon from our phenomenal alumni. We had producers, we have songstress, we have all of the things to actually make our work easier. And I'm sure that you can relate to that, Dr. Campbell, as our leader in representing this great institution.
Well, I certainly am enjoying this show, and it is so beautifully produced. Thank you for all of that.
Thank you. So as we talk about Spelman's impact, and where we're actually going to end up going. Dr. Campbell, I'm going to ask you just to share a little bit about the phenomenal work that you have been doing for the campus, not just during the pandemic, but also the legacy that you're establishing after your time here at Spelman. We know we have you for a little bit longer, hopefully a lot longer. But can you tell us just a little bit about your plans?
Oh, it has been so wonderful to be here on Spelman's campus. We have, I think, the best faculty in the country. And in fact, U.S. News and World Report agrees with me, and they have ranked them in the top 20 in the entire country. And our faculty have been developing new programs like a data science initiative, an art history collective for art history and the study of curatorial studies. We've established with the Department of Defense a Center of Excellence for Minority Women in STEM, the first ever in the country. We are about to establish a Center for Black Entrepreneurship with our brother college, Morehouse College. So many exciting things are happening here, Adrian. It's just bristling with new ideas and excitement.
Well, I'm excited about that entrepreneurial piece. I remember years ago, we were talking about what could actually happen with entrepreneurship at the forefront at Spelman, especially since we don't have a business major. We rely on that economics major, but so many of our young women are actually focused on entrepreneurship nowadays. And in addition to that, social justice. Social justice has been a pillar of Spelman of recent days. Are there any new activities that are going on in the social justice realm?
Oh, social justice is just exploding. You know, we have the inestimable Dr. Cynthia Spence, who was just voted an award by the Association of Sociologists and Anthropologists. And we are so proud of her work. We've just set up an endowed scholarship for social justice fellows called the John Lewis Scholarships. Dr. Spence mentors social justice fellows, and every year they take on all kinds of projects. So, for example, we have students who have been hosting a book circle, a reading circle for women in a women's prison. They have been going, 3 or 4 times a year to manage that book process for women who are incarcerated. They are doing difficult conversations, courageous conversations that they've been funded for. They just won another scholarship. So they are really making an impact at a very important time in our city and in our country.
And Dr. Campbell, I think we're still waiting for our opportunity to participate in some of those book club conversations. So yes, we will look for that information. Given that we are remembering that it is 2020 and we are able to pivot, we are going to take it back to Fred Blankenship.
Okay.
Activism is in your. So is enacting change for social and racial justice. Meet a multi-generational group of change makers who have and continue to help bring about equality and equity.
One day, when the glory comes,
it goes without saying that the numerous, tremendous civil rights leaders who came before us taught us how to participate in what we know as good trouble. These dynamic leaders were undaunted in the continuous fight towards equity and equality for Black Americans, a fight that goes back for centuries. They were the faces of the civil rights era. Sit-ins, marches, boycotts, they have done it all to pave a better country for newer generations like mine. Although their undaunting efforts will forever serve as an example of courage and bravery, racism continues to rear its ugly head in the United States over 6 decades later. These are the faces of the new movement. These are the men, women, and non-binary individuals who are on the front lines today, continuing the fight that our ancestors passed down to us. They risked their lives, just like the leaders of the civil rights movement and those who came before them. The American justice system has failed countless Black Americans, such as the late Trayvon Martin, Tamir Rice, Sandra Bland, Eric Garner, Breonna Taylor, and George Floyd. However, this is only a few of many.
It will be out, oh, one day.
Similar to the civil rights movement and other Black resistant movements, Black women have constantly acted as leaders against police brutality and other issues harming the Black community. We are on the front lines for our brothers, husbands, cousins, fathers, and of course, ourselves.
Now the war is not over. Victory isn't won.
Spelman College, the #1 historically Black college in the nation and the home of Black girl magic. Since 1881, the young college women of Spelman have been on the front lines of social and political innovation. Spelman molds us to make the choice of changing the world. Our extraordinary alumni, such as Stacey Abrams, Rosalind Brewer, and Alice Walker, have made the choice to change the world. We see this in their actions. They serve as pillars for younger Spelman women to continue the fight for equity.
We gon' run with it now. Never look back. We done gone hundreds of miles from dark roads, heroes.
Alicia Garza, Patrice Cullors, and Opal Tometi are the co-founders of the Black Lives Matter movement. This movement that started on social media highlights that social media is used for more than keeping up with the latest celebrities and connecting with old friends. It is a tool for change. It led to the mass spread of uncomfortable yet undeniable police brutality footage of Eric Garner, George Floyd, and many others. Well-known athletes and celebrities such as Colin Kaepernick refused to sit by and remain silent. Their acts of protest that were shared all over social media exemplified our outrage.
It will be out, oh, one day. When the war is won, we will be sure, we will be sure. Oh, no.
Now that was truly powerful. Thank you, Kayla, for that personal video reflection of where we are today. Your generation's perspective and movement toward change is something we truly all embrace. That was simply beautiful. Now, I see your comments coming in the chat. Let's see what you guys are talking about now. What's the buzz? Hand clap for the class of 2020, says Rhonda Hudson. We needed this reminder of what we are fighting for, commented Denise Baker. Jasmine Kinney says that was beautiful. Powerful. We must never forget those who came before us, says Cynthia Cody. And our visual history is overwhelmingly exceptional, says Adria Welcher, and I could not agree more. Keep those comments coming in the Spell Buzz chat room. As we turn to honoring true game changers, this Spelman Moment highlights Atlanta chapter members who made the powerful and intentional choice to attend Spelman College. Make sure you share your story for an upcoming book to be enjoyed for generations to come.
I'm Mary Schmidt Campbell. When I walked on this campus, it was magical. I looked around and I said, where else in this country can I find 2,000 extraordinary Black women at a place that was designed especially for them?
As part of the Spelman Sisterhood, we made the choice to change the world. The NAASC-Atlanta chapter wants to hear from you about that choice in a collection of simple but eloquent personal testimonies, which will help share part of the legacy that is Spelman College.
My name is Carol Jones, and I'm Spelman College class of 1992. I am so happy that I chose Spelman, but more than anything, I am happy that she picked me.
As part of your ticket purchase for today's fundraiser, your choice will be featured in a commemorative book, the first ever by an HBCU organization.
I made the choice to attend Spelman College because of its rich history in educating women of color and their legacy of sisterhood. The impact on my life as a Spelman graduate has been priceless.
Be sure to submit your 90-second recording of why you made the choice to become a part of Spelman's legacy by visiting wemadethechoice.com/stories.
Kiva Wright Berry, class of 1979. My decision to attend Spelman was the result of several fortuitous events. I had always hoped to go to a Black college and originally planned to attend Fisk University in Nashville. My heart had been set on Fisk since I was a sophomore in high school. So when it came time to start applying for colleges, I immediately applied to Fisk along with a few other institutions. But Spelman was not on my list. I was accepted, and soon my parents were sending in my housing deposit. And then fate intervened. First, a teacher in my school mentioned that I ought to take a look at Spelman. And since she was one of only 2 Black teachers that I'd ever had, I listened to what she had to say. Second, my brother questioned my desire to go to school in Nashville, the country and western capital of the world. Didn't I want to be in a different city? I never really considered going elsewhere, even though I had applied to other institutions. Besides, Spelman was all women, and I was graduating from an all-girls high school in Boston and had no plans to attend another female institution. But the words of my teacher and my brother rang true, and I quickly decided that I wanted to go to Spelman. My road to getting to Spelman was not extremely straightforward, but I believe I was destined to be there. When I finally arrived on campus, I knew that I had made the right decision, and I've never looked back. Making the choice to attend Spelman has changed the trajectory of my life. I have sisters I never thought I would have, and I've met people who have deeply impacted me. My decision to attend Spelman was one of the best that I have ever made. Thank you.
Each year, our chapter honors those whose achievements have truly impacted our lives, communities, and our culture. Today, we are happy to present you with 3 phenomenal people who have made our world a better place. First up is our Trailblazer Award recipient, Tiari Jones, class of 1991, and also a New York Times bestselling author. Quote, Jones gives readers a sense of place in a deeply observed way, noted the New York Times. The Village Voice says our Spelman sister is, quote, defining Black middle class in Atlanta the way that Cheever did for Westchester. A native Atlantan, Tiari blessed us with 4 novels thus far, published in Oprah's 2018 book club selection and on President Barack Obama's summer reading list. Tiari's most recent novel, the instant New York Times bestseller, An American Marriage, has emerged as one of the most important voices of her generation, as credited by Essence. Throughout this Spelman Sisters award-winning career, she has penned novels and essays exploring the vagaries of birth and fate, the bitterness of injustice, and the persistent power of love. She's currently a Charles Howard Candler Professor at Emory University and an A.D. White Professor at Large at Cornell University. For sharing her power of the pen to bring to life our experiences and stories of today set through the lens of the African diaspora, the NAASC-Atlanta chapter proudly presents Spelman sister Tiari Jones with the 2020 Trailblazer Award.
It is my honor and pleasure to accept the 2020 Trailblazer Award from the National Alumni Association of Spelman College. This award is meaningful to me because Spelman is meaningful to me. I count being a Spelman sister as my most significant affiliation. When I think about being a Spelman woman, of course I think of the bold-faced names we all know, but I also think of the Spelman women who are not as prominent, I think of Dovey Johnson Roundtree, Spelman College, class of 38. She was a lawyer. She represented the Black men, women, and children who refused to give up their seats on public transportation. Rosa Parks is best known for this act, but she was not the first, nor was she the last. Black people have been resisting oppression as long as we have been here. And when Black people refused to give up their seats, they were arrested and jailed. And when they needed a lawyer, that lawyer was Dovey Johnson Roundtree. She took them on whether or not they could pay. She took them on because she made the choice to change the world. She believed in justice. So you may not know her name, but that's not what's important. What's important is that you are enjoying the fruits of her labor. And that is what being a Spelman woman is all about. Yes, we have Spelman sisters whose names we all know. When I turn on the TV and I see Stacey Abrams, it's all I can do to keep from breaking out into the hymn right then and there. But there are so many other Spelman women who may not have well-known names, but they have lived lives well lived. And these are the women that I am most proud to be among. Thank you so much to the National Alumni Association for this award. It's especially meaningful that it's Atlanta, my hometown. Thank you to Spelman for the 4-year experience that changed the trajectory of my life. And thank you most of all to the alumni of Spelman College for our sacred sisterhood that enriches me every single day. And for this, I will be eternally grateful.
Congratulations again from us all, Tayari. Our Distinguished Alumni Award recipient this year is Miss Helen Smith Price, class of 1979. She's the VP and president of the Coca-Cola Foundation and a member of the Spelman College Board of Trustees. This Spelman sister is a true blue powerhouse, joining the Coca-Cola Company in 1993 as a corporate external affairs director. Helen has served in various leadership positions at the company, including assistant vice president, group director of global community affairs, and executive director of the Coca-Cola Foundation. During nearly 3 decades at Coca-Cola, Helen has managed the day-to-day operations of the foundation, including grant making, financial requirements, and regulatory compliance for domestic and international philanthropy. Her philanthropic interests extend into the community, where Helen serves on such boards as the Woodruff Arts Center's Alliance Theater, the Villages at Carver Family YMCA, and the Association of Corporate Contributions Professionals. Committed to allowing her own professional accomplishment to translate into opportunity for others, Helen also serves on the Nominations Committee for the United Way of Greater Atlanta and the Corporate Contributions Council of the Conference Board. That's why the NAASC-Atlanta chapter proudly names Helen Smith Price as the 2020 recipient of the Distinguished Alumni Award.
I am honored to receive this award from the Atlanta chapter of the National Alumni Association of Spelman College. I was just a kid from Bankhead who was fortunate enough to have great parents and to attend Spelman with an academic scholarship. Spelman was where I learned to appreciate my community, but I also learned to dream bigger, to work harder, and to be concerned about the world around me. We really need to help more students receive scholarships from Spelman College. It needs to be more of a possibility for young women. If given the chance, they will change the world. Thank you for this award.
Congratulations again, Helen. And our True Blue Award recipient is none other than Mr. Danny Flanagan, Chief Investment Officer of Spelman College. Joining the team at Spelman College in 1970, Danny Flanagan has been a major contributor to our beloved alma mater. Take a stroll through campus and you'll see part of his legacy, including the Camille Olivia Hanks Cosby Academic Center, the Albro Falconer Manley Science Center, which includes the renovation of Tapley Hall, the renovation of Manley Center, and the renovation and addition to McVicker Hall, and most recently, Rockefeller Hall. Spelman's Chief Investment Officer's contributions are both on campus and recognized nationally, boasting an incredible 50-year tenure at Spelman, Danny manages more than $500 million of the college's assets. In fact, under his leadership, Spelman's endowment became the second largest of all HBCUs. Danny also has served on a plethora of boards, including the Common Fund, Tuition Plan, the Paideia School, the Atlanta Arts Festival, the National Association of College and Business Officers, and the National Association of Accountants, just to name a few. Because he has committed his life's work to consulting and guiding institutions of education across the globe, highlighted by his unparalleled commitment right here to Spelman College, the NAASC-Atlanta chapter proudly names Robert Danny Flanagan Jr. as the recipient of this year's True Blue Award.
I want to thank the Atlanta chapter of the National Alumnae Association for this True Blue Award. It is really important to me to let you know how much I appreciate this. It has touched me, particularly after I found out that it is given for my 50 years of service to Spelman College and in recognition of me. I have really enjoyed all of my work at Spelman. I have worked with many of you. I remember when some of you graduated from Spelman. But again, I just want to thank you for this award. It will always be treasured by me and my family, and it will be a part of my heart. Thank you very much.
Are back, and I'm sure everything in the world has changed for you just like it has for us here. I hear cars honking their car horns. Everyone is excited. The country has spoken, and they have made a choice for a new president-elect. And we were able to announce it right here. But that's not the only history that we set today. We had a fundraising goal of $50,000. And I am proud to announce that we have exceeded our goal of $50,000 to support our students. So now we are back with Sunny Hostin. She is on the line, and we will go to Sunny and Dr. Campbell for the conversation that we promised. Enjoy the rest of the program.
Thank you, Adrienne, and congratulations on exceeding your goal. And Sunny, what a great day this is.
I've been crying the ugly tear. I've been it's difficult for me to get on right now. Doctor, I worked along with some other activists in writing a Washington Post op-ed as to why Vice President Biden needed to choose a Black woman as Vice President. And I recently spoke to Vice President-elect Kamala Harris and the Vice President. And in some small way, I think that we helped make history. And I'm just thrilled to be witnessing this momentous occasion with all of you.
Somebody recently sent me a photo, beautiful photograph of Kamala Harris striding with a briefcase, and then a silhouette of a shadow of little Ruby Bridges on her way in to integrate the school in Little Rock. And I thought to myself, every now and then we have to pause and celebrate the journey we've taken. And speaking of journeys, I'd love to have you share your journey with us, starting with you're such a stellar career. You're a gifted attorney. You are a star journalist. You are I'm going to hold it up, fearless author who has not only written a memoir, but started a movement for women's rights and freedom of expression. And we're going to get to that. But tell us a little bit about growing up in the Bronx and growing up in a household that had two different cultures, Puerto Rican and African American.
Very different. I will say, and I write about it in the book, I grew up in poverty, which is a story that isn't that unusual to many people. I didn't know that we were as poor as we were, just because we had so much love in our home. And my parents were great about making sure, I think, that I didn't feel the sting of poverty. You know, there were certainly many days that we didn't have heat or hot water. I know how to heat up a house by opening up the stove or boiling hot water on top of it. You know, there were many days when we didn't have a lot to eat, but we certainly had love, we had laughter, and we had this wonderful exchange of ideas and culture. Spanish is my first language. It was extremely important to my mom and my dad that I never lose that. And I'm proud to say that I am bilingual. My children are bilingual. But growing up in a household like that, you do tend to realize the importance of culture, of identity, and of family. And the other thing that was extremely important in our home was education. It was, they always believed, both of them, that education would always be the great equalizer. And so throughout my life, they, by tremendous sacrifice, really, I believe, made sure that I had the best education that they could provide. And I'm only here speaking to you because of that, because of their tremendous sacrifice, because my mom wanted to be a lawyer. My father wanted to be a doctor. They met when they were teenagers, and had me at 18. And so they had to sort of live these lives of a dream deferred for the next generation, which, you know, was me and my children. And I'm just forever grateful to them for that.
So speaking of education, you were a first generation college student, is that correct?
Absolutely, absolutely.
And you started out as an English major and journalism major, and then you went to law school. So what happened?
I will tell you, you know, when I was in college, I loved writing, still love writing, loved reading, loved editing video. That was something that was kind of new then. And my when I came home one Christmas break to tell my parents that I knew what I wanted to do, because I had been looking at Barbara Walters, you know, on 60 Minutes and other things, and pretending in the mirror to be a broadcast journalist. When I tried to explain that to my mother in particular, she just sort of got this glazed look, and she was like, "You want to be an actress?" I want to be a journalist, you know, I want to be, she wanted to be on television, and it was just this disconnect. And she kept on repeating, you know, the fact that they had sacrificed so very much, and also that there wasn't anyone out there that looked like me in that career. This is pre-Oprah. I'm aging myself, but you know, this is you get a car, you get a car, you get a car. There weren't a lot of women of color nationally on television. We had people like Jenkins at ABC in New York, and I had interned for her, but no one national. And it was my dream. And my mom and dad said, you know, law or medicine, that needs to be your path. And, you know, I was 16 when I went to college, 12 when I went to high school. I listened to my parents. I wasn't before I went to law school. So for me, I was like, okay, I'll go to law school. I will say I loved it. You know, it became civil rights, and in particular social justice, criminal justice became my passion. But it became my passion because I was exposed to it and guided there by my parents.
Right. So you and now Vice President Kamala Harris have something in common, and that is both of you were prosecutors. Tell me a little bit about what. Oh, I went out for a minute. We were prosecutors, and tell me a little bit about how you felt in that role.
Yeah, you know, I've gotten a lot of flack for that choice and for that role. And, I also write about it in the book. And Senator Harris, now Madam Vice President-elect Harris, and I have spoken about it because she has received tremendous flack for it as well. And I chose to be a prosecutor for a very specific reason. And that is because I had experience growing up with police brutality. I saw my uncle when I was about 7, stabbed in front of me. We were just alone, and it was sort of like a domestic violence scene gone bad. And the police didn't do anything. They didn't investigate it. No one was ever prosecuted. And I remember thinking, and it tore our family apart. And I remember thinking even at that young age, this isn't right. And I remember visiting, the police department. I remember my family trying to go to the Bronx DA's office, and nothing happened. And I knew then that that in law school, if I became a lawyer, I would be a prosecutor, because those are the folks that have power. And I was right. There's no question that the person with the most power in any courtroom is not the defense officer. It's not the judge even, unless you're on the Supreme Court. It is the prosecutor, because that is the person that chooses the charges to bring. That is the person that chooses the sentencing recommendation. That is the person that brings the case. It's also the person that protects the community from crime. So I am very proud of my service at the U.S. Attorney's Office. Of course, I prosecuted child sex crimes because I think the most vulnerable in our society are the elderly and the young. And I channeled my talent and energies there. But I also made sure that when I was prosecuting gun and drug cases, and when I was prosecuting murder cases, that I didn't prosecute innocent people. That I didn't. I made a choice when there were drug cases that some people deserve diversion programs. I looked at the whole person because I had similar backgrounds to those people. So I think the most powerful decision that many people of color, especially women, make is to, if they're in the legal field, become prosecutors. Be on that side of it, because you have the power.
Right. So it's very much your view that you can have very much a social justice agenda, social justice advocacy and activism in your role as a prosecutor. That was your perspective.
And no question. I mean, I just reported, we did a special report for Nightline on progressive prosecutors. And, a lot of people don't like that term. They feel that it's an activist. I disagree. I think it's really what many people are doing right now. Many people across law enforcement are looking at reimagining policing, and they are also looking at reimagining the role of prosecutors.
So in fact, it was your role as an attorney that led you into journalism. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, I had my children, and I got pregnant with my son when I was at the U.S. Attorney's Office, and I had been prosecuting, child sex cases and gang violence, and I was a little burnt out. But I was really fortunate in the sense that I've been able to blend the two careers. I knew that I always wanted to tell other people's stories. And I did that in the courtroom, but I wanted to do it in journalism. And I kind of was always prepared to do it, but I was at a convention, which is why I tell people networking is so very important. I was at a National Bar Association event, and I spoke up at the event, and someone came up to me afterwards and said, you should be on television. And I said, yeah, from your lips to God's ears. I think that ship has sailed. I had babies by then and had been a prosecutor for quite some time. And she said, no, here's my card. She's a Black woman, a producer for Court TV. And she said, I really think you can do this. There's something about 100%. And I was literally on Court TV maybe 2 weeks later. And it was the start of my career, actually.
That's a great story. And I also love the story about how you were discovered by Whoopi Goldberg for The View. Can you share that story with us as well?
Yes, and she is blowing up my phone right now. Kamala, I think that it's really important to take every opportunity that comes your way, and not think that you're too big for certain opportunities. So when I was first starting out, I had done Court TV. I had done CNN. I had been on CNN for quite some time. Got fired from CNN. My contract wasn't renewed. A lot of people don't realize that. Worked my way back to on HLN and then CNN. And someone from ABC called me and said, I have a spot on, and I will tell you that at CNN, people had often told me I wasn't good enough to be a national anchor, that I did not have what it took to be a national host. And I didn't necessarily believe that, but I held on to it. And I had someone call me from ABC saying, I've been watching you, and we have an opening for the overnights. And I'll tell you, the overnight, you become a vampire. Shows are from 2 a.m. to 6 a.m., but they are now at ABC at least. And there are two shows. One is World News Tonight, and the other one is World News Now, and the other one is America This Morning. And what was fast, and I took the job. I was like, got it. And I knew I had two babies. I was also working at HLN/CNN part-time. And I worked from 8 p.m. and every night, but it was a national anchor gig. And I made a lot of mistakes. I had an incredible co-anchor, Rob Nelson. We were actually the first all-black team of anchors on national television.
Right.
Crazy. And Whoopi Goldberg happens to be an insomniac. So who knew? Because I am as well. And she actually went to Barbara Walters and Bill Getty and said, I'm watching this overnight show at 4 a.m. and there's this woman, Sunny Hostin, and they're doing hot takes. And it's just like Hot Topics. And she's a social justice advocate, and she's kind of funny, and she's smart, and she's a lawyer. She kind of reminds me of Star Jones. She's Latina. It's like, we should get her on. And I got a call from Bill Getty. I was like, hey, you want to come and try out for The View? And I was like, how did you even know about me? And it was because Whoopi thought that she saw something.
Yeah.
We're dear friends today, which is why she's blowing up my phone.
So what do you like most about The View?
I love the fact that you have 5 women, 5 women on a good day, and we're all so different. We're all from different generations, and we have created a space. It's a safe space, arguably in front of 3 million people every day, where we can exchange ideas without judgment, right? And I think that's something that the country just doesn't do enough of.
Yeah.
And why it's so divided. Now, do we always get it right? Anybody that watches our show knows we don't get it right a lot of the times, because we talk about issues that you're not supposed to talk about. Within families, we talk politics, we talk religion, we talk race, we talk sex, we talk family. And to be sure, we're all on different pages.
Yeah.
But we go home and we come back to work to do it another day. And we've remained all friends. And at different times, those friendships have been tried at different times. But we're able, I've learned a lot from doing that. And it's not unlike what I did as a prosecutor, because quite frankly, I would fight to the death in the courtroom against defense attorneys, but then we go out for drinks afterwards. That's a lot like what we do at The View. And I enjoy the free exchange of ideas. A lot of people say, how can you stand Meghan McCain? Well, I was talking to her last night. She just had a baby. She's, has a lot of nursing questions, and we have more commonality with people than we think we do. And I like that I get to explore that every day.
Well, that kind of discourse is a real model for our country. That ability to really connect, to discuss, to dissent, to go back and forth over real differences.
Yes.
I don't want us to run out of time before we get to this book. And I'm going to have to read the title so I get it right. Your memoir, I Am These Truths, a memoir of identity, justice, and living between worlds. As I said in the introduction, this wasn't just a memoir. It became almost a manifesto. Why did you choose to write the book at this particular time?
Yeah, I actually have been writing it for a long time. I journaled as a teen and a young adult, and I still journal. So I had been writing about my journey, and this is going to sound like a name drop, but I'm honored to know Justice Sotomayor, and we were chatting, and she said, Mija, when are you going to write this book? And I said, the book is pretty much written. I just have to, get it out there when I think there's enough and when I think it can inspire. And she said, there is enough. You have to do it because that kind of story is aspirational. And she felt that our stories were very similar, even though she's a Supreme Court justice. I don't know why there's similarities. Maybe it's the South Bronx projects and being put
the law.
And the law. And so I had written it, and it wasn't going to come out till next summer. The book that was going to come out is called Summer on the Bluffs, about it's a beach read about Martha's Vineyard. I have it here. And then, we started this in this country, this incredibly difficult time where you have 4 crises, right? You have a global pandemic, you have an economic crisis, you have a national debate on policing, and then you have this long overdue reckoning on systemic racism and racial justice. And I'm looking at all of these things converge, and which community is affected the most? Our communities.
Yes.
I couldn't believe it, and I literally, called my publicist and my editor, and I said, "You got to put the book out now," because I wanted the book to empower women to know their worth, to demand their value, and to understand that while alone we can survive, together we really thrive, and that personal growth is an attribute to our communities. Us work together, and they agreed that we should push it up and do it now. And then, of course, I found out that I had been systemically discriminated against at ABC. And I decided at that very point, I'm going to write a foreword. I'm not going to tell my boss at ABC. And I'm going to lay it all out there, because if I can have the courage to advocate for myself, which I'm not very good at, I'm great at advocating for others, but not for myself, maybe that will allow one other person, another woman, to demand their value. And that's why the book came out as well as it did.
So, Sunny, I really want to ask you about the stir that this caused, but I'm getting my rap notice from the producer. So I hope that in the course of the questions, you can tell us about the impact that your incredible book has had, not just at ABC, but for women all over the country in the media and entertainment world. So I'm going to pause here and throw it back to Adrienne Lance Lucas, and she's going to open up the floor for questions.
Thank you, Doctor.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
We're only going to do one question. And Sunny,
yes,
given this historic day, talk to us just a little bit about how you were on fire to make sure that our vice presidential candidate would be a Black woman or a woman of color. Tell us just a little bit about that. And then after you do, we'll go back to Diamond Lewis to finish the program.
Yes. Well, I will tell you that just months ago, I got a call from Latasha Brown. I got a group call when we're all friends. Latasha Brown, the founder of Black Voters Matter. On the call was Jamel Hill, Tiffany Cross, Alicia Garza, Amanda Seals, Joy Ann Reed, all these incredibly powerful women. And they said, Biden needs to choose one of us. I was like, one of us? No, a Black woman. Because we are the backbone of the Democratic Party. And we deserve representation at the very height of government. We deserve to be in the room where it happens. And we, as a collective, need to demand it, because every other group, when they have power, demand something in return. So you have, the NRA, when they had a lot of power, would ask for something from candidates. The evangelical voting bloc always asks for something, a Supreme Court justice, when they have power. Why do Black women who overperform for the Democratic Party never ask for something in return for not only their vote, but the fact that we organize and get out the vote, like a Stacey Abrams, right? And I said, count me in. What can we do? And they said, as a collective, we can write about it, we can talk about it, let's do it. And that is how the Washington Post op-ed was born. And we each took a part of it. My part, of course, was requesting a Black female vice president in addition to a Supreme Court justice. Latasha Brown and Alicia Garza talked about a Black agenda that is so needed in our communities. Angela Rye, of course, was also on the call. She really organized it. Talked about the same needs, the needs of Black women in our country. And wow, it went viral because there was a video that went along with it. It went viral. I think there were several million views. We got calls from the Biden campaign. We were brought into think tanks. And it just goes to show you that when we are, again, alone we can survive, but the power of Black women together is where we thrive. That community, we all know that together we can really accomplish anything. And we demanded that he choose a Black female running mate because he owed us. And he now, and he did it, and he owes us this election, I think.
I think you're absolutely right. Sunny, this has been so wonderful to have this opportunity to talk to you, and at such a momentous time, right?
Yeah.
It feels quite extraordinary for us to be talking today. On behalf of all of our Spelman sisters, our current students, please hear Sunny's message of the power of Black women. Thank you. It's a very important message for us to hear, particularly today. I'm going to turn the program back over to Diamond and say good afternoon.
Wow, this hour of power has simply flown by. All have enjoyed this time. I know I certainly have. Now, let me see what you guys are talking about in the chat. Heather Kinney says, woo, 2020 has already been a beast, but there are so many ways to help. Sharon Wilson says, this is what it is all about. This is why we made the choice, says class of 1995 Spelman sister, Lisa Farmer Cole. Thank you all so much for your comments, and thank you for allowing me to serve as your mistress of ceremonies today. It has truly been my honor and a privilege. Now, producing an event of this scale, especially during a pandemic, is no easy feat. However, I think your co-chairs and event committee did a simply fantastic job. I would like to introduce now the 2020 Scholarship Fundraising co-chairs, Patrice Francis, class of 1990, and my classmate, Crystal Woods, class of 2001. They will be followed by NAASC-Atlanta President Adrian Lance Lucas, who will come back again to close out our program. Thank you so much again.
Greetings, my Spelman sisters, and thank you for joining us on this chilly November morning. It has been my absolute pleasure to serve as your co-chair of this 2020 Scholarship Fundraising event. It has also been a fantastic pleasure to celebrate 3 phenomenal Spelmanites. And yes, I am including you, Danny Flanagan, as well as 2 wonderful Spelman scholars, Jordan and Jasmine. We are so proud of what they are doing and where they are going. I thank you for all of your financial contributions, for listening to the thousands of phone calls that you received, and those emails that have flooded your inbox. Thank you once again for being responsive to us, and we truly appreciate what you have done on behalf of Spelman College.
Thank you, Patrice. It was an honor serving with you. We would be remiss without saying 2020 has just been a year of change. Thank you for pivoting with us, and thank you for joining us virtually. Today would not be possible without our sponsors. Thank you so very much from the bottom of our hearts for your support. We hope you enjoy the rest of the program, and remember, today we are helping the next generation of Spelman women.
Because we made the choice. This is our largest scholarship fundraiser of the year, and I would be remiss if I did not mention the sponsors who, through their generosity, make supporting our students possible. Our top sponsor is the Southern Company at the History Maker level. At the Game Changer level, we'd like to thank the Coca-Cola Company. And at the Champion sponsorship level, thank you to Mrs. Billy Aaron, Mrs. Carolyn Young, and our beloved Spelman sister, the Honorable Brenda Cole. Please make sure that you review all of our sponsors as they are listed in your digital program booklet. What an amazing event we have had today. Thank you all so much for coming. You know, none of this can happen without dedicated people by your side to ensure that excellence prevails. I have to thank our co-chairs for this event this year, Patrice Thompson Francis and Crystal Woods. Give those virtual hand claps and applause, please. Thank you, ladies, for everything that you put into this event. I also have to make sure that we thank all of the fantastic folks who participated, from our MCs to our production team, to our honorees, our scholars, and all of you for making sure that you joined us even in this adjusted format. Thank you so much. To Anita Wallace-Thomas, thank you, girl. You really put us over the top by bringing us Sunny to the table. So as we close out today, there are a couple of things that you know we always do every single fundraising event, and that is to announce our top level fundraiser. It should be no surprise who the winner is this year. She wins every year. Jean Foster Scott, thank you for all of the tickets that you have sold and individual donations that have come in. We have a special prize coming your way. To that silent generation, you all were the top fundraisers for a generation to recognize this year. I'm full. I am overjoyed with everything that we were able to accomplish. And as we close out in true Spelman form, we will sing the Spelman hymn. But before we go there, Fred Blankenship is going to take us out.
I have so enjoyed co-hosting this event today with the amazing Diamond and spending time with all of you. Resilient, change makers, achievers, and supportive are all the words that throw light upon my Spelman women. I say my because I feel connected to each and every one of you. I understand why you all made the choice to attend. And I cannot tell you how inspiring this event has been to me for a lot of reasons. I have a 10-year-old daughter. Her name is Layla. It would be my dream that she would go to Spelman. Hopefully it comes true. And also, every morning, I believe in starting the day with energy and enthusiasm. Oh, that's right, baby. And I carry my own music with me. Hey, ain't no stopping us now. We are on the move, baby. Take your energy with you. Let's go, baby. Spelman in the house.
Spelman, thy name we praise. Standards and honor raise. We'll ever faithful be throughout eternity. May peace with thee abide, and God forever guide thy heights supreme and true.